A very good afternoon. Welcome to our second game of our doubleheader this Sunday afternoon here in LFS, and it is the Manchester Derby to round off match week 4 of the Premier League season. City and United not in positions they would have hoped to be in at the start of the season. City more particularly, and we will see if they can improve on their start to the seasons with this one. It is a massive game, and the massive names are on the scene. Of course, Sir Alex Ferguson in attendance already this weekend. It's been dramatic, but it has been wins for quite a number of teams. Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal all winning in their games. Fulham left it late. Newcastle just the 1-0 winner for them. A 1-goal win for Bournemouth, and a couple of draws as well. 2 goalless draws between Crystal Palace, Sunderland, and Everton, Aston Villa. And as well, Brentford and Chelsea drawing 2-2 in that West London derby last night. It's been a very intriguing weekend, and we've one more game to bring you. There's no doubt who will be top of the table come the end of this weekend. So it will be neither of these two. They'll both want to be in the top half come the end of the weekend. That is possible if they pick up a positive result this afternoon. It is a big game, of course. That is our game of the week, of course, this weekend. And let's have a quick recap of the game of the week then. This is the 197th Manchester Derby in history. Of the 56 derbies that have taken place in the Premier League era, Manchester City have won 20, United have won 26, and there have been 10 draws. Pep Guardiola has won 12 of these derbies, 25 of which he has managed at Manchester City, so just short of a 50% win rate. And the last 5 draws in this fixture have all ended in goalless scorelines, including their last meeting in April, of course, which was goalless at Old Trafford. Let's have a look at their last 5 meetings between these two. It's been mixed emotions. They've met in the Premier League, but also in cup competitions as well. It was a 0-0 draw at Old Trafford last season. United came here and won last season in December. 2-1 winners there. Ahmad with a late winning goal at the Etihad. It was in Man City's favour in the Community Shield and the penalties last August, but it was Man United in the FA Cup final in May of 2024, and they won the FA Cup, did Man United, against City, and City claiming 3 points against United late in the season in March of 2024. So a lot of mixed results, nothing concrete between these two of repeat results. But City just 1 point from the 2 league meetings between the sides last season. Can they get 3 points and a first, by the way, 3 points at home this season? We'll see. Kickoff in the Manchester Derby is on the way in a very short moments. Of course, the players coming out onto the fields this afternoon, and we'll get you the team news very quickly before we have a special moment to bring you. Let's have a look at the two teams then, starting with Manchester City. Gianluigi Donnarumma gets his debut start for Manchester City in goal. Abdelkader Kusanov, Ruben Dias, Joško Gvardiol and Nico O'Reilly are in defence. Rodri starts in midfield alongside Tierney Reinders and Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden returns from injury as Jeremy Doku and Erling Haaland make up the front 3. Marmoush is injured alongside John Stones, both injured during the international break. On the bench for City, Trafford, Ake, Lewis, Mufudi, Gonzalez, Savinho, Nunez, Bob and Mukasa. For Manchester United, it's been all talk about goalkeepers for them as well, but Altay Bayindir gets his starting goal this afternoon. Nasser Mazraoui starts at right wing back. The 3 centre-backs of Luke Shaw, Matthijs de Ligt and Lenny Yoro, I couldn't remember his name there, and Patrick Dorgu at left wing back. In midfield, Manuel Ugarte alongside captain Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad off the right of a front 3, Brandon Burmo off the left, and Benjamin Šeško gets his first Premier League start for Manchester United up front. On the bench for United, there are 2 goalkeepers on the bench, spoiled for choice now. Tom Heaton and new signing Senne Lamons is on the bench. No Andre Onana, he was sold to Trabzonspor before the end of the transfer window. Fredrickson, Heaven, Leon, Maguire, Casemiro, Menu and Xerxes make up an 8-man United bench, as United have a number of injuries to take into this one, including Matheus Cunha, who got injured just before the international break. Well, it is a big game. It is the 197th Manchester Derby. It is as big as ever. These two have not started the campaign particularly well, with just one win from their opening 3 games for both. Can they get a second win on the cards in a big derby, on a big derby day in Manchester? It's only big for one of them. Which one of them will it be today? Kickoff at the Etihad is on the way next. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Before we get to kick off this afternoon, there's going to be a moment's applause in remembrance of a very famous City fan and, of course, a very well-renowned boxer in British boxing. Ricky Hatton, who lost his life at the age of 46, has died, and we will remember him with a moment of applause. An absolute wonderful tribute to Ricky Hatton, of course. A very emotional City crowd and a very emotional Manchester City manager and Pep Guardiola in that moment. And, of course, we send our well wishes to Ricky's family and friends at this incredibly difficult time. An unbelievable man who had a lot of unbelievable qualities, but one of them that he loved so dearly was being from the beautiful city of Manchester. And these two sides representing this city so well over the decades of the Premier League era. It has been well renowned. It was United in the early days. It's been City as of recent. But these two have been closer than they would have wished, certainly in the early weeks of this season, for all the wrong reasons in the way that they have been playing in their performances and results. But we will see if that changes this afternoon. Of course, both sides in their home strips because it's a sensible derby. And City in sky blue, Man United in red. That is expected, because why else would they be in different colours? But there we are. And we're ready to go. One of the best derbies in English football. And we're underway for the 197th time. It has been a lot of drama in these derbies, in this derby, over the last few seasons. A lot of times they've met in different competitions and differing results each time, as Erling Haaland has a pop at goal just gone wide. Some start for City there. They couldn't clear the ball, United. It was terrible in and around their own box. City toying around, and Erling Haaland gets a brick of the ball inside the box from a narrow angle, fires at it. Bayindir hadn't got a clue what was going on, and the ball across the 18-yard box skims wide of the right post. And that was an early chance for Haaland. Erling Haaland almost on the score sheet within the first minutes of this Manchester derby. Afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the chat. Just another Andy says, afternoon, Kevin. Hope you're well. Thank you very much, Andy. Hope you're well as well. A draw would be good here, hopefully, with Haaland blanking for FPL reasons. Yeah, I don't have Erling Haaland in my team. I haven't had Erling Haaland in my team all season. I actually captained Mo Salah, which is incredible for me that he scored the penalty that won Liverpool the game earlier, which is great for my fantasy team. I did captain him, and I got Florian Wirtz, who got me a couple of points. He was good on the day today, Florian Wirtz, but that's my team. My team's done. I don't have anybody in this game. That's my team done. 67 points. I'll take that. I'll take it indeed for this week. Not bad. It's better than what it has been in previous weeks, I gotta tell you. Here's a chance in behind here for Reinders, but he was offside. Excuse me. It's kind of slurping there while I was drinking that. Apologies. Welcome in Andy Burton as well. Thank you very much indeed for joining us again. Good to have you all with us for this one this afternoon. Well, this is going to be a very intriguing battle. One thing that United are very good at is counter-attacking with speed. One thing City are not good at defending is counter-attacks with speed. So we'll see how that matches up. But of course City have got so many different qualities, so many great qualities and so many great players that they can pull a leash and one will score from nothing. And that's what Man United have to come up against. But recent records, Man United haven't done too bad against Manchester City. Unbeaten against them in the league last season. And of course beat them in the FA Cup final last year as well. It was in the 23-24 campaign. They actually went back-to-back FA Cup finals, those two. City winning the first and United winning the most recent. Dorgu trying to hold it up. Does well. To fire it back to Bruno Fernandes. I'm going to call him Fernandes. I called him Fernandes in the Fulham game. I'm not doing that again. Ball down the right-hand side from Mazraoui. Towards Mbeumo. Laid off by Šeško, who's going to have a go. And Donnarumma with his first claim in City colours makes the catch. Yeah, it was good play down the right. Nice inside ball by Mazraoui. Laid off by Mbeumo, and then Šeško just comes off the back of the City defenders, drops a little deeper, and gets the ball, then turns and has the shot straight at Gigi Donnarumma, who makes a good claim. It's United on a high press there, and Mbeumo did well to press. Mazraoui wins it back, goes for the early cross, punched away by Donnarumma, and that's maybe set up City in a good position. And Bernardo Silva, Haaland lays it off. Ball switched out to Doku down the left. He's got Euro for company. And Lenny Euro sees that one out for a goal kick. And one thing I filed there, Euro's not going to get that. And Doku wanted a corner. He's not going to get that. Goal kick. Manchester derby number 26 for Pep. 12 wins. And it's his 600th league game of his managerial career, funnily enough. No, Bayindir was taking his time with that goal kick, which wasn't making the City crowd happy. Bit of head tennis at the moment. De Ligt with the latest. Followed up by Kusanov and backed away by De Ligt. And out for a Manchester City throw down the right-hand side. Well, City have won 5 of the last 8 Premier League matches against Man United, though they failed to win either game last season for the first time since the 2021 season, when they failed to win both games against United in the league. Of course, United didn't do the double on them because they drew the home game and won the away game, which is very Manchester United of last season. It was probably one of the dullest games I saw last season, if I'm honest. The Manchester derby at Old Trafford in late April. One of those dreadful games I'd seen. Ian Deere plays it to De Ligt, and De Ligt does get it off under pressure to Ahmad, who plays it out well down the right side, but the ball had too much zip and power behind it to keep it for Mbeumo, and it goes out for a throw on the far side to Manchester City. But City pushed in on the press there, and Ian Deere found De Ligt, and De Ligt rushed it up the field to Ahmad, and they found a bit of space there, United. A better ball from Ahmad, and they could have been in. City enticed to press, and in the end leaving the space further forward for United to try and exploit. That's a ball switched across by Gvardiol. Dorgu was jumping up for the ball, wanted a foul as he was ended up on the ground, but it's not a foul. It'll be just a United throw. As I was saying about these two and their starts to the campaign, Manchester City just one win from 3. They lost their most recent 2 since that 4-0 victory over Wolves. Oh my goodness, Ian Deere. What is that? Erling Haaland said, I'll put a bit of pressure on you, and he almost gifted him a chance there. I'll say Ian Deere certainly not brimming with confidence on that moment. It's been the highlight of Man United's early season, is goalkeeping shockers. Almost was another one there as Ian Deere gets rid this time. Second ball picked up by Dorgu, but a very heavy first touch. Allows Rodri to retrieve, and he's beaten to it by Ahmad. That's a nice bit of work, and now Šeško. He's got the runner off of him, and Mbeumo, who he can't find, unfortunately for him. A nice City retrieve the ball. Foden lays it through for Reinders, who sends it flying. There to Yanni Reinders, out to Doku on the left, and couldn't quite find his teammate. Almost found the stands. He went that far away from Jeremy Doku down that left-hand side. And there's the new goalkeeper for United, Senne Lammens. 18.1 million pound signing from Royal Antwerp on deadline day, September the 1st. That's lovely movement from United between the lines, and here's Brian Mbeumo on the move, and he's trying to find Ahmad. Nice interception in there, just in the nick of time by, I think that might have been Kusanov, or was it Diaz, but one of them. And United have started particularly confidently here. They're trying these longer balls, they're trying these more direct passes, and with speed. And they started not too badly here, the visitors. As I said, they came here and won last season. 2-1. As Rawi wrestled to the ground there by Nico O'Reilly. It's another United free kick. Story of that game last season was that City were leading. Joško Gvardiol scored in the first half. It was an equaliser from the penalty spot in the 88th minute from Bruno Fernandes, before a 90th minute winner from Ahmad sealed the 3 points for United. The late show for United on that one to win that derby. It was only one of 11 wins in all of last season, and one of only 9 defeats City faced in all of last campaign. As wanted a foul, gonna get a foul off Bernardo Silva is Patrick Dorgu, and Anthony Taylor happily obliges. And you see this again, Bernardo Silva forced under pressure by Patrick Dorgu, and Dorgu wins the ball back, and as Bernardo Silva knows he's lost it, just kind of grabs the love handles of Patrick Dorgu and says, come here you, and in the end holding the shirt, and he goes down and gets a foul, does Dorgu. And Anthony Taylor, our referee this afternoon, visibly spotting it. So Brian Mbeumo to take this free kick for United. Wide on the left, in a good area. City with their defensive line on the penalty spot. 6 of them in that line. 5 United players there on the scene. Brian Mbeumo, left-footed delivery near post. Flicked, it's cleared away by O'Reilly, I think that was, and it's fired forward here. Nice first touch by Bernardo Silva, but tussling and coming out the better was Manuel Ugarte, who comes away with the ball. Ahmad, 3 around him, gets the ball out to Ugarte, and he tries to fire it off quickly. Couldn't quite find Sheshko, allowing City to retrieve the ball. Here comes O'Reilly. The crowd trying to edge him forward. City with the very first chance of the game with Erling Haaland, but it's been a lot of United play since. And Burma with a nice press on Kusanov there. And that will be a Man United throw-in. Or actually it's been given City's way eventually there. The assistant on this side said a United throw. Then the referee gave a City throw. And was it changed again? I think they did change it again. I don't even know. Who knows? Confusion over the throw-in. City have the ball anyway. Here's Jeremy Doku. Down the left-hand side. He's got Mazraoui in front of him. Ahmad dropping in as well. Back inside it comes to Vardiol. Now trying to find the space, Joshka Vardiol. Back out wide to Doku. Well tracked by Mazraoui. Back inside it comes to Vardiol. 5-4-1 out of possession, Manchester United. City trying to squeeze through that line. Reversed back away though. Finding Ruben Dias. Very tight areas. United trying to keep it narrow. City got 2 wide options. Here's Bernardo Silva on this right hand side as the wide man. Dorgu for company. Goes back inside to Kusanov. Rodri. Diaz back out wide again to Bernardo Silva. Flicks it over the top from Foden's run. Nice little back heel. Reinders absolutely telegraphed that one out to the far side. Throw in to Manchester United. Yeah, nice ball by Bernardo Silva. Good run by Foden. Nice drop back to Tiani Reinders. But the Reinders ball, I don't know where he was going. I think he was trying to maybe cross it to Jeremy Doku, but that was a terrible ball and a terrible option anyway. I mean, he played a terrible ball. Well, Man United have inflicted 25% of Pep Guardiola's total home Premier League defeats as a City manager. The Red Devils winning 4 times against the Spaniard. That's 4 out of 16 meetings. And they're looking for consecutive wins at the Etihad for the first time since March of 2021. Our Manchester United here today. Man United, of course, got their first win of the season just before the international break. That late winner from Bruno Fernandes from the penalty spot against Burnley. Burnley feeling a bit of deja vu today, losing through a late penalty once again for 2 weeks in a row in the league. Man United got their first 3 points of the season. Liverpool getting their 4th set of 3 points. Here's Ahmad. Ugarte watches the run of Mazraoui wide, who was a nice idea. The ball just skipped away from Mazraoui. And Donnarumma was there and alert and winning the ball in his own box. Going to be a foul there on Rodri. And the crowd are going to sarcastically applaud the referee, Anthony Taylor, for his decision to give that free kick. Our VAR today, by the way, John Brooks. As I said earlier, and I said yesterday, let's hope we don't need to hear. The less you hear from VAR, the better. That means the cleaner the game. Here's a run for Erling Haaland. Altay Bayındır came a long way. And Bayındır sent it flying a long way as well. Out for a City throw. We're a bit unhappy that Phil Foden was challenged off the ball that they feel there. Yeah, the ball had gone. They like kind of run in. They ran into each other there. That's nothing in that, if I'm honest. Even if it was a foul, City had the advantage anyway. But it wasn't a foul in my opinion. Bouncing ball here from the throw-in. Reinders trying to take it into his grasp, but Euro does well. Clears it away. Well recovered by Vardiol. Diaz now. Well, Man United start to the season. Oh, hold on. Here they come. Bruno Fernandes. They've won it back in the midfield now, United. Dorgu, deep cross, dink to the back post. Ahmad's tried the acrobatic one, missed it. Bruno Fernandes kept it alive and Bomo couldn't take it in. And City scramble it away. And Mazraoui pressing in too intensely on Doku. Gives away the foul. Well, Ahmad was the hero for United here last season. And he tried the acrobatic one there from that deep cross from Dorgu. Again, it was a cheap touch by Rodri. It just kind of on the turn. The ball just skidded past him and allowed United to retrieve it. Bruno Fernandes breaking forward, give it out wide to Dorgu. Dorgu goes to the deep cross into the box. Ahmad at the back post, and he got connected. Just didn't get the direction of the ball. It kind of just flew up into the air off his leg from Ahmad, really, from the acrobatic one. And in the end, City were able to deal with that situation, but United winning those balls on the fast breaks could look a threat. Switch ball here, finding its way to Bernardo Silva. A bit of hesitation from Dorgu, but he's there on the scene with Bernardo Silva now. And Silva reverses it back to Kusanov. Now Rodri. Firing it through. Doku's come central. And Doku breaking through. Gets the ball across. The header is in. And it's Phil Foden. That is unbelievable from Manchester City. Fabulous move. Created by Doku. Finished by Foden. 1-0 Manchester City. The art of dealing with a situation. It didn't look clean. It didn't look like it was meant to happen. But you have to react to everything that does happen. And they reacted beautifully there, Manchester City. Great break down the right-hand side. It's fabulous from Doku. Comes central. He just charges through the United defence. We'll see it here again. It's a simple through ball. Doku on the half-turn. Spins away. Breaks through. Gets past Luke Shaw, who's standing like a wooden board, nowhere to be seen. Bursting through does Doku, gets to the byline, goes for the cross, blocked the first time. It bounces back for him, doesn't take a touch, dinks it back across the 18-yard box, lifts it up, and Phil Foden throws himself at it. And he directs it beautifully into the bottom left corner. That is a gorgeous goal by Manchester City. Working off the fly, and Phil Foden with a fabulous header to give Manchester City the lead in the derby. City 1, United 0, and Phil Foden's back on the score sheets. Wow. That was a wonderful move. Wonderful. And wonderfully finished. Let's swipe there on Ahmad's. That'll be a throw in just. That was a wonderfully worked goal. 7th goal in 12 appearances now against Man United for Phil Foden. He loves a goal in a derby. A Man City fan as a boy. And as a man, he is putting Man United to the sword more often than not when he plays them. He loves to find a good goal against them. And it was really poor from Man United. It was great from City. I think the second part was just great City play, and the fact that Doku reacted to the block and put it in first time. But the defending prior to that, no one tracked Doku. Here comes Erling Haaland, bricks off the back of Shaw again. Haaland dribbling through. Couldn't find a way past the other United defenders. Now goes out for United throw on that side. But Doku came really far central. No one tracked him. No one picked him up. And as I said, Luke Shaw, I mean, an ironing board would have had more flexibility than him standing there. I mean, he just watched him spin past him. And he did nothing to deny him. Then they get the ball in. It's blocked at the near post. and then he whips it in beautifully first time. Doku stands it up for Foden, who heads it in beautifully. It's a wonderful reactionary goal. Off the cuff, off the fly, and into the back of the Man United net. Wonderful. There's Fernandes there. I don't know what Bruno Fernandes was doing there. I said this before. I don't know what he was doing there, but he took a really poor touch. It seemed like he was ready to go at one of his players, and then he took a really poor touch. I mean, instant karma if you've ever seen it. Long ball down the right side there from the throw in from Rodri. Seen out quite convincingly by Luke Shaw. And Kusanov will get another chance. 21 minutes gone. City 1, United 0. Parley, I would argue, against the run of play a little bit. But a moment that changes the atmosphere and the trajectory of this game. Foden trying to skip down the right channel. Blocked out of play by Dorgu. Another throw in will come. City in this far right position, very close to the corner flag on this right hand side. It's Kusanov again to take. Long throw into the box. Haaland takes it down, trying to work through the lines and wins a corner off De Ligt. Good work from Erling Haaland. And that is going to be the first corner of the game. Man United, famously poor at defending corners. How will they defend this one? And there's a lot of height in this City team. Foden will take this. Foden's delivery, headed away by De Ligt, who gave away the corner initially. Fired well clear. Donnarumma firing it out to that right channel. Foden couldn't win the first ball, but brought down by Bernardo Silva on the second ball. And reversed by Kusanov back to his goalkeeper in Donnarumma. Hasn't played this season. Gigi Donnarumma before this game, of course, was iced out of the PSG team at the start of the campaign by Luis Enrique. Of course, the Super Cup, if you remember all that drama before the Super Cup, where he released a statement and then he was kept out of the Super Cup game. Chevalier started. Well, here comes City again. O'Reilly finding Doku. Doku inside the box. Jeremy Doku across. A poked effort right at Altay by Ndir. And he's smothered it in the end. It was Reinders in the middle. Again, good play off that left-hand side. Doku cuts back onto his right, lays it off, and Reinders right on the middle. It was Fernandes on cover. And Reinders hit it first time and blocked right down the throat of Altay by Ndir, who smothered in the ends. City are purring at the minute. They're in a great bit of mood after that opener. They've started to kick on and try and find a second. Very quickly, it seems they want a second goal. And of course, it's their first home goal of the season. Of course, failed to score in the opener against Spurs in a 2-0 defeat. They've scored here this afternoon. And a great goal it was indeed. Here's Doku. O'Reilly. Vardiol across to Ruben Dias, and now Kusanov. Bernardo Silva. Held up against Dorgu. Bernardo Silva goes back the way. The Ruben Dias does well to fend off the United pressure, and Donnarumma down the right flank. Header won by Ugarte, and Fernandes bundling over, but City win the ball nonetheless. And now here comes Erling Haaland. It's a 4-on-3. He's laid it up to Bernardo Silva. Back to Haaland, heavy touch. And the clearance from Mazraoui sends it flying. It was a 4-on-3 there, and Bernardo Silva was the spare man out the wide right. He got the ball. I'll see this again. It was Fernandez that won the ball, but fouling. Referee was going to give a free kick. He said, play on, as City had the ball. Haaland bursting through, 4-on-3. Bernardo Silva got the ball, and I think he tried to play it right back to Haaland first time. And it was too much pace on it. Haaland couldn't control it, caused a bit of pinball. And United were able to clear their lines, but maybe Bernardo Silva could have had a go himself. On a few occasions, City have been really trying to exploit United, and on a few occasions, as I said, they have exploited them. One of which has led to a goal. City pinging it around nicely, beautifully taken by Haaland, and the switch ball there was towards Doku, but again, fired out to Doku's area. Again, far too much on it. It was really lovely build-up play before that, though. The approach play was really beautiful from City, 1-2 touch passing. Throw in down the right from Mazraoui. It's well won back by United, and Mbeumo winning the throw-in down the right side. Well, Phil Foden was questioned by the England manager. Of course, Thomas Tuchel during the international break says he needs to fall back in love with the game. Well, I think so far he's loving this game. And here come Man United, though, trying to respond. Here's Brandon Mbeumo breaking down the right side. He's whipped the ball in towards Ahmad, but cleared away by Ruben Dias. Zagorty keeps it alive. Shaw. My prediction for this game was a 2-2 draw. I'm expecting goals because these two can score. But I don't know about their defences. That's all I'll say. And Mbeumo out wide to Mazraoui. I'm definitely going to get those two mixed up. From a distance, they look very, very similar. Bald head, beard. Very similar. As City win the ball back here with Reinders, who wrinkles himself into a bit of bother. And that ball flicked over the top, and Mbeumo made the run behind. He's took the touchdown. He has the shots. That's absolutely sailing over the bar. I don't know if the flag was going to go up anyway against Brandon Mbeumo. We'll see it again. Did he get himself back on side? He didn't. He did get himself back on side, but then run back offside again. And he was offside. But it was a terrible shot anyway. Awful effort. Just ballooned it. Took it on the rise, and as it lifted up off the ground from the bounce, he caught it in mid-bounce, and it flew over the bars. Over the bar. Of course, that north stand is almost to completion at that end, as City again almost worked themselves into a bit of bother under pressure. O'Reilly comes away with it, and Doku back inside to Rodri. Now the ball comes back to Kusanov. Passing the ball well at times, City, in this first half. They've had 64% of the possession in the first 29 minutes. What's their passing accuracy? I would like to know that. 158 accurate passes out of 179. I'll have to work it out myself, will I? 88.2%. That's decent. It's decent. That was a little loose there from City. Scrappy from United, though, and Ahmad had the last touch, surely. That's going to be a City throw. That was good battling from Kusanov there. Under a bit of pressure. Of course, Kusanov had a tough debut, if you remember, last season against Chelsea. Here, where he gave away that Chelsea goal. Ultimately, they won 3-1 in that game, City, but was thrown into the fire. He joined in January just 21, from Uzbekistan. Not a country you hear very much from in terms of players from those countries coming to the Premier League, and there's an issue here. There's going to be a stoppage for some reason there. The referee wasn't too happy with something that was going on there, but we're alright to continue. But Kusanov, yeah, has had a tough spell to start, but he's done decently well in the new campaign so far, despite the poor results from City, of course. And we'll start with United and how they've started their campaign. A opening weekend defeat at home to Arsenal. They then headed to Fulham and got a draw, scraped a draw out of that game. Probably should have lost that game, if I'm honest, the way Fulham played that day. Then they went and lost to Grimsby in the Carabao Cup before picking up their first win of the season at home to Burnley with that last-minute penalty. Here's Dorgu, works it into the box. Couldn't get any further with it as City clear. Just one win from 4 games in all competitions this season for United. And they come into a pretty difficult run coming up. Head to City, then host Chelsea next weekend. Trip to Anfield on the horizon as well. For City, they started the season with a thumping victory over Wolves, but as we see with Wolves now, they set rock bottom, 4 defeats from 4. I don't think that was more a reflection on Wolves rather than a reflection on City, because their next 2 performances, a 2-0 defeat at home to Spurs, and then a 2-1 defeat away to Brighton, and a game of which they conspired to lose. Here's Šeško in behind. Šeško 1-on-1. Good block by Donnarumma. Calls a handball, calls of offside from City, but both falling on deaf ears. See it again. Šeško, he was onside definitely, but did he handle it? The argument could be made that he did handle it, but I'll see it here from this angle. No, it comes off his chest. That's not handball. And he pokes it towards Donnarumma, who makes himself big. And it's going to be a Man United corner. It's actually going to be a free kick for handball. They have given it as a handball there. That's very strange. It came off his chest. I don't think that was handball. Ugarte taken down by Šeško. Deeper, Ugarte. And pumped forward by Fernandez. Out wide here to Dorgu. And a bouncing ball. He's got 2 chasing him. And Abdulkadir Kusanov absolutely firing through the back of Patrick Dorgu there. That's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. Yeah, Dorgu did well, leaned into it, but knew the challenge was coming. Tried to shield the ball and was taken out in the process by Kusanov, who was watching the ball, but he completely took the man out. Definitely a foul. Definitely a foul. But it is a free kick in a good area for Man United here. Bruno Fernandes over it. Bruno Fernandes trying to set this one up. Wide on the left. It's from similar to the Mbeumo chance a bit earlier. Similar area. This free kick off the left hand side, round about the edge of the box. 6 United players in the middle. Bruno Fernandes goes direct, and he certainly doesn't catch out Donnarumma, who simply gathers without needing to move a muscle. And that was an attempt at a fake, and the only person he was faking was himself. There, Bruno Fernandes. I was going to say that he has created the most chances in the Premier League this season, Bruno Fernandes, so far. 12, and an open play, 8. So he has a lot of threat, no doubt, but Bruno Fernandes has also scored in each of United's last 3 wins against Man City in the Premier League. March 2021, January 2023, and of course their last meeting here in December of 2024. From the penalty spot, of course. 10 minutes to go in the first half of this Manchester derby. City 1, United 0. This derby much closer in recent years, But when City were at the peak of their powers, they were putting 5, 6 and 7, well 4, 5 and 6, sorry, past Man United in these games. It was very one-sided, those types of affairs, when City were at the peak of their powers. Remember a 6-1 game here, and United were absolutely dreadful that day. Defensively, they were so poor. Ball all the way back to Bayendir. Shaw. On the left-hand side, nicely taken by Sheshko, but well muscled by Ruben Diaz to win City the throw. Oh, pressure on Rodri there. Had to get rid of it quickly, but Lenny Yoro wins it back for United. Shaw. Out wide to Dorgu. Back to Luke Shaw. Looking for options further forward. Has the time to find them. Goes for that switch ball. Beautifully taken out wide to Brian Mbomo, who tried to take the first touch past O'Reilly, but O'Reilly steps in and wins it back and now gives it off to Doku, who's going to break down the left. Jeremy Doku cuts inside, intercepted. One back though by City, off Mazraoui by Rodri, who's bursting forward trying to poke it through, but intercepted again by Shaw. Neither side have really held sustained amounts of possession at times. They've both battled resolutely. A true derby-like game. A lot of physicality, a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of turnovers in possession. And with 8 minutes to go in the first half, it is Manchester City that have the narrow advantage. Phil Foden's goal separating the sides. Haaland, nice little layoff. Lovely little bit of skill from Foden in a tight area. Lays it off to Reinders. Now out wide comes Bernardo Silva. Has to go back inside to Kusanov and Rodri. Just when you think City are going to have a run down the wide areas, they work it back inside again and are met with a sea of red bodies. Switch ball there by Vardiol. Beautifully taken in by Bernardo Silva. Skips round Dorgu, who blocks him off, but will be a Manchester City throw. Long throw by Bernardo Silva, bouncing ball into the box. Haaland was the target. Cleared away by Yoro and then followed up by Mazraoui to clear it long up the halfway line. That's a nice darted ball through the lines there. Reinders switching across to the left, finding Doku. 4 United players watching Doku, all from different distances. And he works it back here to Reinders. Now Doku again wide. Inside to Reinders again, a little bit of a heavy touch, but he makes it work with Foden. Back to Reinders again, finding it through O'Reilly over the bar. Haaland was making a run through as well there. O'Reilly picked it up. I don't think O'Reilly was the target there from Reinders' ball. I think it was Haaland's. Yeah, he was in there, Haaland's. If O'Reilly had left it, but he didn't get a shout clearly, and he was in the vicinity, so can't blame O'Reilly for thinking he's got to get that ball. Bouncing ball there. In behind. Andy says Man City's setback a bit after they scored was a lot more open before then. I think it's still been quite competitive between the two teams. I think City have been more controlled. I do believe that it was a very even affair before the goal, and that City moment that scored and they got the goal and they took the lead, it just gave them that little bit of extra control in the game, and United have tried to fight back, but I don't think City have gone more defensive or kind of deny that. I think United actually have gone more defensive and trying to be more counter-attacking at times and picking their opportunities, whereas before the goal it was kind of you go, I go, you go, I go kind of vibes. That's lovely from Haaland, laid it up for Bernardo Silva, but United working in the tussles, and Dorgu does well to evade the challenges. Down the line it goes from Fernandez. Great block by Kusanov. Wins it back for Manchester City. Lovely ball out wide from Foden. Too much in the end for Doku. I mean, he's Jeremy Doku, not Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, the many balls that they've given out wide, City, to Doku, and they've overhit them every single time. I know he's quick, but he's not that bloody quick. Letting themselves down at times there, City, with those wide balls, because their options are there. The option is there to find them. They just kind of overhit it. The last 3 times they've tried it, they've overhit it on all 3 occasions. United here with the ball down the right. Mazraoui early cross taken in by Ahmad. In the box, Ahmad held on to by Vardiol. He did well to lay it off there, Ahmad, to Mazraoui. Back to Ugarte, who spins it across the field to Shaw. Now inside to Fernandez. Goes out wide. Dorgu's made the run down the left. He cuts it back for Shaw. Shaw with the early cross. Away by O'Reilly at the back post. Better for Man United. Lenny Yoro. Down the right-hand side comes Ahmad. Mazraoui back to Ahmad. Fernandez to Mazraoui, and Mbeumo's there to pick up the pieces, but a foul in the mix there on Jeremy Doku by Mazraoui. Free kick to Manchester City. Well, since 2015-16, the home team has ended on the winning side in just 6 out of the 20 Premier League meetings in the Manchester derby. It's been away sides that have prevailed more often than not in these derbies. Drawn 4 and lost 10. The home sides have in these derbies. Indeed, since then, the only Premier League fixture to see more away wins is Crystal Palace v Liverpool with 12. 12 meetings, 10 away wins. Look at that passion from Phil Foden as he celebrated that goal. Kissing the badge, going to the crowd at that side, and they celebrate with him. That was good play down that left side by Doku in a tight area. Mazraoui just got his foot in there. And Mbeumo, tight space, loses out. Cut back here to Rodri. Feeds it out wide to Bernardo Silva. Bodies in the box, Bernardo Silva. Cuts it back to Foden. There's nowhere really for City to exploit there. Here is Foden on the ball again. Rodri. Kusanov. All the way back to Ruben Dias. Minute and a half of the first half here in this Manchester derby to go. It is the home side that lead by a 1-0. That ball from Donnarumma was picked up by Mazraoui, and the switch ball here is on. Bouncing out wide for Dorgu. Tried the first time cross, blocked by Kusanov. Corner Manchester United. Real English says, in some other news, another derby is currently happening. Onana of Trabzonspor versus Edison of Fenerbahce. Is that right? There you go. There you go. A former United and a former City goalkeeper going against it. There. We'll keep us up to date, Real English, on the score. See what's happening. Let us know. Thank you very much for getting involved. Corner for United. Bruno Fernandes to deliver, left-hand side. Was about to take it. Did take it. The whistle had gone. One thing to sort out 1 or 2 things there, Anthony Taylor, before the corner is taken. I'm guessing it's something to do with De Ligt and Kusanov. Yeah, they were wrestling. The two of them just running around the box. Got a hold of each other. Don't know about a line dancing, those two. Corner to United. Fernandes again will get a second chance at delivering. Right-footed. It's narrow, it's deep, it's punched away by Donnarumma. Mazraoui round the corner though. This is a nice ball down the right side. Held up and dragged down was Dorgu by Vardiol, and that's going to be a free kick to Man United. Yeah, it does really well there, Dorgu, and Vardiol knew he'd lost the ball, knew he'd lost the challenge, wasn't letting him get past him that time, and ultimately gives away a free kick. There, Joshko Vardiol. One additional minute, by the way, at the end of this first half, and we're almost completely finished. Can United end the half with something positive? We have a free kick here, far right side. It's Mbeumo over it. Lots of bodies in and around the edge of the 6-yard box of City, of both teams. Mbeumo to take this free kick. Left-footed, flicked away by Haaland at the near post. And there is the half-time whistle. And a first half where it is so far so good for Manchester City in this derby. For a lot of it, they've been the better side. They've been in control of the game. United have tried. They started well, United, to be honest. But when City scored, it was control to the home side. And that's the way it's ended in the first half. Half-time in the Manchester derby. It is Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half-time in the Manchester derby. It is Man City 1 at Man United 0 at the break, and Phil Foden's goal. The difference between the two sides at the break, and a wonderfully taken goal. It is and was indeed from Phil Foden. Of course, it's the first goal that Manchester City have scored at home this season, and Manchester United trailing once again, as they have in almost every game that they have played this season, barring the Burnley one, of course, as they were ahead in a few times before winning. And at the moment, it is Manchester City looking to claim their second win of the season, and their first since match day 1 away at Wolves. We will see what comes of the second half, but a first half it was very closely fought at times, and I think to Manchester City's credit, they controlled the game. Once they'd scored, I think it was more in their favour than it was Man United. I think United started the better of the two teams. I think they come out with a little bit more urgency than the two teams, and a little bit more control, albeit Erling Haaland had a first chance inside 40 seconds, but that was their only real opportunity in the early moments. It was United that were threatening, and then once the City goal came, as I said, it's slightly against the run of play. It was an even game, but slightly against the run of play in the way that Man United had played early in the game, and that goal changed it. It gave City that confidence, gave them the control. They settled in, they were passing the ball around a bit more, and albeit at times there was sloppy moments from City where they were giving the ball away a few occasions, I think Man United really didn't look threatening on any occasions in that first half, if I'm honest. You know, they had one shot, it was on target. I'm trying to remember who got it. Benjamin Šeško forced a good save out of Donnarumma. But other than that, when they were in and around the box, when they did have the crosses, putting the crosses in, or when they were getting in and around the area, they weren't really threatening Man United. They looked a little bit lackluster in the final third, I gotta say. But if I'm honest, it's pretty much a fair scoreline at this minute in time. City just edging it, but I think a lot of the control that City had is what we like to see and what we have seen from them when they have been successful. Is that control, is that confidence on the ball, is that dominance on the ball, and is that kind of like, even when they're out of possession for moments, they don't look flustered. And I think for a lot of this game, especially after the goal, it's been reminiscent of City. But we go back to the goal itself, and this to me is as baffling as anything. I get a great moment. I think the first time cross from Doku after the block from his first attempted cross, when he crossed it in for the second time, or attempted to cross the second time, whipped it in and Foden with a header. That was just really good football. But the defending before that from Man United to allow Doku to break through and get into the box, to get to the byline in the first place, and then not really do enough to block it, is shocking. The fact that he was able to drift off the left-hand side without anybody following him or anybody picking him up, then he can turn away, just walks past Luke Shaw. I mean, Luke Shaw may as well have just sat down because he would have done more work. I mean, he stood there. I said an ironing board would have had more flexibility than Luke Shaw, and it would have. He just stood there, let him walk past him. Doku breaks into the box. Again, good block of the first time, but again, don't do enough to get it away. And then it's just really good football from Doku. Lovely cross, good header by Phil Foden. But the Man United defending before that was atrocious. No one tracking the man. Luke Shaw sees him, doesn't do anything about him, and then De Ligt with a block that really doesn't do very much in the end, and a good reaction from Doku and a good header from Foden. But really poor defending from United. Good instinctive play from City, reacting to the moment. You know, sometimes you see the block on the first time cross, and then the attack fizzles out or goes for a corner, or the defending team come away with it. But Doku's reaction to the block, he just knocks it in first time, and that is class from Jeremy Doku, is that he had the ability, he had the kind of the mind to go, he's just going to dink it in and see what comes of it. First one was blocked, it goes again, first time, and then Phil Foden, right space, right time, and a really good header, by the way. Those headers are not easy, and the way he directed it, Phil Foden, was just beautiful. It's a great goal. Again, a lot of Manchester United defenders looking very silly and very useless, shall I say, in that moment. But that was the only real clear-cut chance of the half, and City took it. And I think a lot of control for City, a lot of dominance from City, without really putting United to the sword. I think they had their first shot early through Erling Haaland, their second shot was the goal, then they had a third shot right afterwards, and then they've had one shot since. They've had 4 shots in the whole half at City, so they haven't really been pummeling the United goal, which will give United confidence that they can get back into the game and that they are still much in this battle. But at the same time, I think City could turn it on at any point and they could go and find that second goal. United look a little bit lacklustre in the final third, really hopeless at times in defence, but so far, so good for Manchester City in this one. And it's similar stuff from United again. Lack of urgency in their own box and in and around their own box, and not picking up runners. It's really simple, basic stuff, and the goal comes from that once again. But listen, I'm not a Man United fan. I'm not here to sit and rant about Man United. That is not my job. That is the job of the United fans to do, of which I am not one. Real English says, first blood to Trabzonspor, the away team. Yes, thank you very much indeed, Real English. Keep us up to date. That would be fantastic. So Trabzonspor with the lead there against Fenerbahce. Of course, Onana against Edison, two former goalkeepers from Manchester. One of City, one of United. And they play against each other today in Turkey, is that, isn't it? Trabzonspor and Fenerbahce? It is. Right, the second half on the way very shortly in this Manchester derby. Let's have a quick look at the weekend's results overall. Arsenal 3-0 winners against Nottingham Forest yesterday lunchtime. A lot of 3 o'clockers yesterday, but no away wins in any of those games. Bournemouth picking up 3 points for the third time this season. Their best start to a Premier League campaign in their history. 2-1 win over Brighton. Not a great start to the campaign for Brighton, on the contrary to that. Crystal Palace and Sunderland a goalless draw. Good point for Sunderland on the road. Everton and Villa goalless. Villa still looking for their first goal of the season. Everton 2 clean sheets out of 2 in their 2 home games this season. Fulham late winner for an own goal from Gabriel Gudmundsson, the Leeds defender, meant it was 3 points going Fulham's way and 3 points going Newcastle's way. Goodbye Alexander Isak. Welcome in Nick Voltemada, who got his goal on his debut to give Newcastle all 3 points. The first away win of the weekend came last night when Spurs made easy work of West Ham United. 3-0 winners there in that one. It was a draw in the London derby between Brentford and Chelsea. It looked like Chelsea were going to win it through Caicedo's late goal, but it was Fabio Carvalho in the 93rd minute rescuing a point for Keith Andrews' team, who fought incredibly hard in that game and actually probably deserved a point. And it was a last-minute penalty for the champions to see off Burnley in that game earlier this afternoon. Mo Salah from the penalty spot, ensuring that the Premier League champions keep their 100% record to start the season. 4 wins out of 4. Excuse me. And that is the way the weekend goes so far. City 1-0 up against United. We'll show you the table before we leave you this evening. Real English says the goal got chalked off, so we're back to 0-0. Trabzonspor just got a man sent off as well. It is all happening there in that game in Turkey this afternoon. Right, we'll have a quick look back at my predictions for this weekend. Not great, I gotta say. Some decent ones, but not great. Arsenal winning, I got that right. Again, disregard the scorelines because, I mean, it's potluck. Although, take heed of the scoreline on one occasion. I said Fulham would beat Leeds 1-0. I maybe got a bit lucky on that one, but they did beat Leeds 1-0. I predicted a Palace win. Sunderland got a point out of that. I predicted a Villa win. It ended 0-0 there. I predicted a Newcastle win with a clean sheet. It's not the best prediction. Wolves are terrible, and they started really badly, but they got the win, and they got the clean sheet. I predicted a draw between Bournemouth and Brighton, which I was almost right. They won it on a penalty, Bournemouth, but a close affair in that one. Chelsea, I predicted to win. They drew. I predicted Liverpool to win with a clean sheet. They did that. And I'm predicting a draw in this one that we're watching tonight, Man City and United. I predicted a 2-2 draw, but at the minute it is City leading by a goal to 0. But I think there is goals in this. There are goals in this one. And we'll see if more goals come in the second half. That's on the way next. Do stay with us. Your one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible! Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half time in the Manchester Derby. It's 1-0 to City at the break. And as you saw there from that advert, the Champions League is back this week. And we cannot wait to bring you coverage of it. We have two huge games coming up this week for you. It starts on Wednesday night. And we have Liverpool in action at Anfield as they take on Atletico Madrid. That's Wednesday night. 8 o'clock kickoff from Anfield, and then on Thursday night we head up to the northeast as we watch Newcastle, their return to the Champions League, and that's an easy one for them, surely. They host Barcelona on Thursday night. I cannot wait for those two games, Wednesday and Thursday, here on LFS. It's great that the Champions League is back. Also on Thursday night, Manchester City play. They're at home to Napoli on Thursday night, by the way, for you. So a lot to look forward to in terms of the Champions League returning. Speaking of returning, the players who are returning to the field of play in a moment. What does Ruben Amorim and his team do? The question still remains. They have battled, but really haven't looked like scoring at all in this first half. And need something to change in the second if they're going to get a result out of this game. They were 1-0 down, going to 88th minute in this game last season in this fixture, and they ended up coming out 2-1 winners with 2 late goals. I don't know if that will repeat itself, but I'm sure Ruben Amorim and his players will be hoping that something similar happens, maybe a little bit earlier this time. But we will see. City don't look frail, they don't look open, and they've looked controlled at times, Manchester City, in this first half, but you never know. Man United can pack a punch, and they have done in recent Manchester derbies. Can they do it in the second half? Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That will be greatly appreciated. We're very close to 30,000 subscribers. We're 29,400 odd coming into this one this afternoon. It would be great if you could help us try and get over the line. We thank you all for joining us once again. And the Champions League games are our next games on Wednesday and Thursday night for you. I would be doing Tuesday, but I have another job to fulfill on Tuesday, so that is where I will be. But we will be here Wednesday and Thursday night for action for you from the from the Champions League. Looking forward to those Champions League fixtures. City took their time coming back out, by the way. They are now back out on the field, as is the referee, Anthony Taylor. Don't know what was going on there, but they're back out and ready to go then. 45 more minutes. City lead by goal to 0. Let's see what way it ends up. Technical issue there with the assistant. He's alright now. We're back on the way. The assistant had a little technical issue, but he's grand, and we're off and running here at the Etihad for the second half. United attacking from left to right, City from right to left in the second period, and United have been a little bit lacklustre in an attacking third since. Haven't really seen much of their counter-attacking threat in the game, which is an issue, can be an issue for Manchester City to defend. So far they haven't made it an issue, Man United. City have been pretty calmly in control. Mazraoui to Brian Mbeumo, his twin. The only thing I can hang my hat on from a distance, one, obviously their numbers, but two, that Mazraoui's taller than Mbeumo. Here is Mazraoui. Got him, Mbeumo and Šeško ahead of him. Switches it across to Ahmad. Bit of space here. Dorgu across. Blocked at the near side by Kusanov, but it's cleared away. And actually gone out for a corner, I believe, there. See it again. Good move by United there. Good work by Mazraoui. Didn't force it round the outside. Actually came back inside, finding Ahmad, who laid it out wide to Dorgu, who went round the outside himself to the byline and winning a corner, of which there's a collection of Man United bodies there in one area, central. City everybody back. Now they're going to fan out and work into their areas now, the United players. Corner delivered in by Fernandez. Headed away again by Haaland. Ahmad recycles, works it back out wide to Dorgu. And Fernandez inside goes clear again to City. Ahmad again. Fernandez again. And back here this time with Luke Shaw. To Ahmad. Shaw. Fernandez round the outside comes Dorgu. Dorgu with the ball in. Haaland in there again, defending his own box. Foden tussling but losing that battle again to Dorgu. Ahmad stretching to keep it alive, and Fernandez tries something tricky. Flicks outside the box, kept alive by Brennan Burmo. Now Mazraoui. And Burmo again. Ahmad through the lines, beautifully fed. Mazraoui. And Burmo falls to Fernandez across. Cleared away. Better from Manchester United. Good bit of possession here. Good spell of the ball. And almost exclusively in the final third of Manchester City there to start this second half. Coming out with the intention clear. Try and find that equaliser. Switch ball here. Brought down by Mburmo. O'Reilly and Doku in his wake. He's got Mazraoui on the overlap and played it through to Mazraoui, who was stretching. And he had the last touch there, Nasir Mazraoui. As Vardiol was in cover. Goal kick. Yeah, Burmo plays a lovely through ball. Mazraoui on the overlap. Gets the better of O'Reilly and then is absolutely clattered by the covering Vardiol. But he runs into him rather than Vardiol making any sort of aggressive contact. And it is a goal kick. Took a firm whack there, Nasir Mazraoui. They have started positively though, Manchester United, to start the half. A couple of early crosses, a couple of chances, a corner as well. Trying to show their intention that they want to try and fight back into this game. Bounce the ball there from Donnarumma in behind, and the flag's gone up against Doku, who came across again, but he was offside when the ball was kicked. And impacting the defending there of De Ligt means he is offside. Free kick to Man United. Passing it around nicely there. Are United. Here's Mazraoui. Fernandez. Inside comes Brian and Burmo. He finds that ball down the left channel here for Dorgu. Dorgu entering the box. Ahmad on the cutback. Now to Fernandez. Rolls it through. Dorgu on the spin. Couldn't get a shooting opportunity as Rodri blocked him. And it's cleared away again. Man United in the ascendancy here at the minute. Looking like they're the one in control. Well, in the last 58 games when City have scored first, they have won 50 of those games in the Premier League when they've scored first at home. Out of the 58 times they've done it, they've lost just once in that run. And there's a through ball that's gone all the way through and out the other end. Well, Man City have lost 2 of their first 3 Premier League games, for the first time since the 2004-05 campaign, and is the fewest points ever collected by Pep Guardiola in his first 3 league games of a season. Just 3 points. The last time City lost 3 of their first 4 games was in the 95-96 campaign, and a season where they were eventually relegated. If they lose today, they would repeat that record of losing 3 of their first 4. United have started the second half on the front foot. City on the back foot. And on that occasion, it was the foot of Brennan Burmo that the ball came off. And that will give City a throw. O'Reilly. Nice little nutmeg to find Foden and Doku in behind for Haaland. 2-0. There it is. City starting slow in the second half, but have that clinical edge to find the finish. And Erling Haaland is the one to do it. Something out of nothing. And United, who'd started the better of the second half, are once again the team on the end of a goal conceded. City 2, United 0. Daylight in the derby for the blue side of Manchester. And that man Erling Haaland again. This is gorgeous again. It's from the throw-in. It's really, they're second to everything there, United again. It's wonderfully played. O'Reilly to Foden to Doku, all in like a diagonal line across the pitch. And Haaland times his run of perfection between De Ligt and Shaw. And coming was Altay-Bayindir, but Haaland batted off Shaw and dinked it over Altay-Bayindir and into the back of the Man United net. 2-0 City. And you gotta say, it is a mountain to climb for Manchester United now in this Manchester derby. And that is Erling Haaland's 7th goal against United in the Manchester derbies. Just like Phil Foden did in the first half. And that is another wonderfully created goal. By the way, Jeremy Doku got the assist for both goals for City today. Can't miss out on him. It's Erling Haaland's 4th Premier League goal of the season. Scored 2 against Wolves and scored 1 against Brighton. His first home goal of the season. His first goal at the Etihad since where is it? Since a 2-2 draw with Brighton back in March. That was his last home goal for City. Well, he had a great international break, Erling Haaland, in Norway's 11-1 win over Moldova. Erling Haaland scored 5 and assisted 2 of those 11 goals. 7 goal involvements in one game for Erling Haaland. And he's on the score sheet here. And they're really at the sword now. Here he comes again, Haaland! Round the keeper! Oh, it's hit the post and cleared away. And the follow-up across and out the other end. It should have been 3-0. It should have been 2 for Erling Haaland. How it isn't, I don't know. My goodness me. I don't think Erling Haaland knows, or Pep Guardiola, or anybody knows how it's not 3-0. Again, it's terrible. Awful pass back. De Ligt tries to force it in the midfield. It's given away. It's well won by Doku. Played it through. Haaland works in behind the defenders. Gets around the goalkeeper. And then has the goal gaping in front of him. Gets around the keeper. The bobble, the bounce. And from the narrow angle, he's stretching for it. He does reach it. He does hit it. He's ready to celebrate. And it comes off the inside of the post. And cleared away. Pep Guardiola was ready to celebrate too. And he couldn't believe it. Falls to his knees in disbelief. It should have been 3-0. It should have been game, set and match Manchester City. And they need to wait a little longer. Something's telling me they won't have to wait too long. Because Manchester United are folding. And it looks like it's going to be one-way traffic to the end here, it seems. There it is, 7th goal in 9 appearances against Man United for Erling Haaland. Prolific. Prolific. Lenny Yoro. Mazraoui. Now in Burmo. Back out wide to Mazraoui. Bodies in the box here if Man United can script something. And Burmo lifted in by Fernandes. Away by Ruben Dias and then further away by O'Reilly and picked up by Haaland. Lays it off to Doku. Doku and Haaland running the show at the minute. Here they come again. And he's played it through. Doku to Haaland. He's got the better of his defender. But Shaw just about gets it back. to Altay Bayındır. He is terrorising that Man United defence. There may be 5 of them, but none of them are a match for Erling Haaland at the minute, or Jeremy Doku for that matter. Here come United down the left with Dorgu inside to Fernandes, who's going to lift it into the box. Comes off the head of Šeško, who actually helps City in defending that moment. And now Doku finding Foden, who he tried himself to find Haaland, but not finding him on that occasion. Folding like an iron on board. Yeah, there you go. Man United, the personification of an iron board. Rigid and folding under pressure. Can they get a goal back that could change the dynamics of this game? Would be some sort of swing. Mazraoui with the ball in. Cleared away. Good cross. Lenny Euro steps in and wins the ball off Doku. Now Mazraoui. Here's Brown and Burmo. Falls under no sort of challenge, and then comes flying in, does Ugarte, and crashing out on Tiani Reinders. That's going to be a City free kick. Well, City had 4 shots in the whole of the first half. They've already had 3 in the second half. Let me see the goal again. It's just gorgeous football. Just really beautiful football for Manchester City. Fabulous from Haaland. The physicality, the technique, the composure. Unbelievable. And look at Gianluigi Donnarumma. O'Reilly to Doku. Back to Donnarumma now, City. In firm grip of this derby. They're looking for their first derby win over Man United in normal time. Their first derby win over Man United in normal time since March of last year, where they won 3-1 here. Rashford scored the goal for United, that incredible goal if you remember it, from long range. And then 3 second half goals, 2 from Phil Foden and 1 from Erling Haaland. Sealed the 3 points for City, on that day. He puts 27 shots past Man United in that game, 18 of which came in the first half when they didn't score. They've scored 2 and are failed to concede so far this afternoon as we hit the hour mark in the 197th Manchester derby and the 57th of the Premier League era. It looks like Manchester City might be closer to adding win number 21 of 57 to their tally, unless Man United can kind of pull something out of nowhere. That's Rawi around the corner trying to find Mbomo, but easily cut out by O'Reilly, who sends it long, taken down by Euro, and now Fernandes across to Shaw. A goal can change this game. The next goal will be crucial. Dorgu's ball, and that's a shot! Oh, what a save by Donnarumma! That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable from Gianluigi Donnarumma. See this again. It's a great cross, and Mbomo with a strike. Fabulous with his left foot on the volley. And Gianluigi Donnarumma showing why he's here and why he can make a big impact for City on his debut. Great right-handed save, diving to deny Brown Mbomo what would have been an unbelievable shot and goal if it had gone in. And Donnarumma parries it behind for the corner. Fabulous from Gianluigi Donnarumma. Changes in coming then for Man United. Harry Maguire and Kobbie Mainoo are coming on. And Lenny Yoro and Nazir Mazraoui are coming off. Interesting. They're not going to a back 4, I don't think. Maybe Ahmad will drop in at wing back. Yeah, right wing back will be Ahmad, I would suspect, and then Maguire would just drop in place of Lenny Yoro, and then Mainu will go into midfield. Ball into from the corner, it's flicked to the back post, and City able to scramble it clear, and Doku now trying to charge on a counter, but beaten off the ball there by Kobe Mainu, and not able to get himself back on side. Patrick Dorgu, free kick to Man City. Well, this is some save. See this again, it's a great strike, it's a beautifully hit ball by Brown and Bomo. But wonderful dive and save by Donnarumma. And I don't think he would have got great sight of it with O'Reilly kind of blocking it. But he made an unbelievable save, and look at his teammates celebrating with him. Unbelievable. Erling Haaland loved it. Donnarumma firing out to the left channel, but out for a United throw. Well, a win here for City would put them back on track of the season, and a much needed victory for them to get them back on track. 2 wins out of 4, move them up to 8, 6 points out of a possible 12. It'll just get them back on track after what has been a tough few weeks with those back-to-back defeats against Spurs and away at Brighton. For Man United, it will be a return to what they've known, really, to start the season. That really, that Burnley victory would buck the trend. It'll be their only win of the season. Here comes City again, wanting to add to that lead. Bernardo Silva down the right, works it inside. Haaland! Gathered by Ndir. Took it first time there, Erling Haaland. We've seen him do that multiple times. Great slide in by Ruben Dias. Good work in the midfield by Reinders. Works it out wide to Bernardo Silva. And then he crosses it in first time. Haaland stretching for it, reaching for it, hitting it with the outside of his left boot. And it curls into the hands of Altay Bayindir. But nice move, nice effort. Haaland growing into this game. Certainly not what Man United need. Shishko holding it up there, laying it off to Dorgu, switching it to try and find Ahmad, but that was well blocked and well gathered by O'Reilly. Played it back to Donnarumma. Ahmad, and calls a handball on Harry Maguire there. It was a really clear verbal shout from the crowd of handball. It was probably the clearest handball you've ever heard from a crowd. But the referee responded, Anthony Taylor waving it away. Shaw to Maguire. Down the line to Ahmad. Trying to take on O'Reilly. Ahmad kind of got himself caught there. His own first touch caught him out. And Doku shoving his way around De Ligt, but it's going to be a throw-in. The ball had gone out of play. Well, Man United registered just their 8th win in 30 Premier League matches under Ruben Amorim, with that late winning penalty against Burnley on match day 3. But half of Amorim's wins have been against promoted sides. Portuguese manager holding just a 16% win ratio against sides that weren't promoted to the division in that same campaign. 4 wins out of 25 against non-newly promoted teams. One of those actually did come against Man United, or Man City, sorry. And Burmo breaking in behind, going down, and the ball across. It's into the hands of Donnarumma. It's definitely not a penalty. And Donnarumma catches at his near post. Yeah, do it there. See it here. Burmo takes on O'Reilly, and yeah, there's nothing in that. It's good, strong defending by O'Reilly. Long kick by Bayindir. Header won by Gavardiol. And one by Maguire, brought down by Ugarte. Spins it out wide. Finding Dorgu. Back to Fernandez. Tries to return the favour to Patrick Dorgu down the outside. He's got Kusanov on the scene. And he backheels it. Backheels it towards Kusanov to retrieve for Manchester City. Man United look a lost soul out there at the minute. City are just toying with them at times. Not even needing to work hard at the minute, City. Ugarte. Mbomo back to Ugarte. Fernandez now. Finding Ahmad. On the right side. Plays it inside. Backheel by Mbomo. Mainu. Ugarte. Just trying things, United, but I mean, it's really last ditch and scrambly. And there's a ball in behind Haaland. Is he in his own half? He's broken behind Erling Haaland. 3-0. And there it is. Game, set and match. Erling Haaland. Who better in one-on-one situations than him? And it's 3-0. And that's the game done and dusted. The Manchester derby is going Manchester City's way. For the first time in a year and a half, they will be claiming 3 points against their nearest rivals. 68 minutes gone, there's still a lot to go. But this game knew that the third goal was going to be crucial. And we see it here. I mean, it's scrambly, it's scrappy, it's terrible from United again, playing themselves into trouble. They give it away. Ball flicked over the top. Haaland timed his run so good that he was in his own half as the ball was played by Bernardo Silva. He perfectly weighted it. He worked it through and he knew where he was going. Far corner, 3-0. Fabulous. Erling Haaland, Mr. Inevitable, Mr. Supreme. And he absolutely gorgeously tucked it into the bottom corner. Erling Haaland on the double. And it's 3-0 to Manchester City. This is the City we know. This is the City we have known. Is this the City on return to what they know best? 3-0. And that's 8 now goals in Manchester derbies in 9 appearances. There you go. And I looked at a stat before this one of players with the most goals in Manchester derbies. I didn't take a note of it, but I remembered it. Erling Haaland had 6 coming into this game. I'll have to have a look at it. But he knows what he can do. We know what he can do in these derbies. If I can find it. If I can find the... where is it? Well, it was here somewhere earlier where I was looking at the most goals in derbies. Here we are. So Erling Haaland now, who come into this one with 6. He has 7. So does Phil Foden. The only Manchester City player... There's only 3 Man City players that have scored more goals now in Manchester derbies than Foden and Haaland. They are Sergio Aguero, Francis Lee and Joe Hayes. Joe Hayes and Francis Lee have 9 goals in Manchester derbies in the league. Sergio Aguero has 8 in the league, 9 total. 10 total for Hayes and Lee. And Erling Haaland now has 8 in Manchester derbies. In all competitions, all of them coming in the league. So only Lee and Hayes. No player in the Premier League era has more league goals in a Manchester derby for Manchester City than Erling Haaland and Sergio Aguero now, both on 8. And they're doing the Poznan. They're doing the Poznan. This place is bouncing, literally bouncing. Literally bouncing. I mean, the camera is shaking up and down. United are trying to end that bouncing with a through ball there, not coming out of anything there. They have been fabulous today, Manchester City. I got to give it to them. There's still 18 minutes of this game to go, but they have been absolutely fabulous. from minute one. I mean, Erling Haaland had that chance in the very first minute, and maybe that was a sign to come. Maybe that was a subtle foreshadowing of what was to come. That Erling Haaland will be the star of the show today. Here's a ball to the back post. Ahmad trying to get a consolation. Ball blocked. They get a goal now, Man United. You never know. Shots! Oh, wide it goes from Ugarte. It was a straight effort, and an effort that went wide. I think we all need to recompose. 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 Haaland's trying to find Doku there, but well cut out by De Ligt. Fernandes. Ahmad. De Ligt now to Kobe Mainu. Well, cut out again by City. Here's Doku. Not going very far. Throw into Manchester City. It was good play from Doku again. It's been fabulous. Well, after this game, there will only be two managers that have made more appearances in Manchester derbies than Pep Guardiola. That will be Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson. Les McDowell, before this game, is the City manager with the most appearances in Manchester derbies between 1950 and 1963, and Pep Guardiola would equal that record after this game. Of course, he will beat that record by the end of the season, obviously, because they will play each other again, and if Pep Guardiola is not sacked by then, which I very highly doubt, he will break that record, at least for City. And here they come again. They're through again. It's Gianni Reinders for 4. Number 4 hits it wide. Whether he was onside or not as well would have been a question mark. I had the great line as well. Number 4 scores. Number 4. Come on. Haaland there again. Good work. Again, United 5 yards off it. What is going on there? Maguire. Terrible. I mean, if Luke Shaw's an iron on board, what is Harry Maguire? Terrible. And then Reinders. Oh my goodness. It should be 4-0. He's fired it wide. Just wide. Well, one thing Pep Guardiola does have is the most wins as a City manager in a Manchester derby. 12. That's more than Les McDowell, who had only 8 in his 26 Manchester derbies. Pep Guardiola has 12 and 25. It will be 13 and 26, which will be a 50% win rate, which is quite a remarkable. Only Alex Ferguson would have a better win rate in Manchester derbies than Pep Guardiola after this one. If they go on to win it, of course, City, which looks very likely. Alex Ferguson had 26 wins in 47 games, which is over 50%. And Matt Busby had 15 wins in 39. Change incoming here for City. Rodri's coming off. And is Jeremy Doku. So some changes in the move here for City. Nico Gonzalez coming on for Rodri, and Savinho is going to be coming off to be replaced by Jeremy Doku. So Savinho and Gonzalez on, Rodri and Doku off for Man City. Well, I gotta say, credit to Jeremy Doku today. He's been fantastic. Of course, Erling Haaland will get the headlines with the 2 goals at least here. But Jeremy Doku, a lot of credit to him. He gets a lot of criticism, but he set up 2 of the 3 City goals today. He's been intrinsic. He's been instrumental in Manchester City's great attacking play today. So United free kick works into the box, headed away by Ruben Dias. Fernandes will take it down. About 30 yards out, he will flick it into the box. Mbomo takes a touch, tries to flick it on to get out of a shot, but City scramble it clear before Mbomo has his opportunity. And it's cleared all the way up the field and into the deep end of the Man United half. Looks like Man United are going to make a change in a moment. Joshua Zirkzee's on the sidelines, ready and waiting to be involved. Well, Pep Guardiola has lost 49 of his 345 Premier League games. Don't think he's getting to 50 today. 22% of those 49 losses, though, have come since the start of November of last year. 11 of those 49 wins came since the start of November. And, of course, a defeat in this game would take him to the second most number of games to lose 50 of those. Sir Alex Ferguson took longer. His 50th defeat didn't come till the 367th match in charge. So, Pep Guardiola would be very close to getting towards that, but unlikely that he would beat that record. Here's Kobbie Mainoo, rolls it out wide here, ball across by Dorgu, but nicely carved out, cut out by Kusanov, who gets it back to his goalkeeper Donnarumma. Nice work there from Kobbie Mainoo. Good work to run onto the ball and to run the ball forward, carry it forward and play a nice ball out wide to Dorgu. But Dorgu, I think, going for the early cross was the wrong option. Probably should have went to the byline and crossed it, but wrong option indeed. Ahmad. Kobbie Mainoo. 11 minutes to go. And the result, I'm sure, sealed and dealt. That's not right. Sealed and dealt is the right way of saying those words, but all wrapped up. Better way of saying it. Ugarte to Fernandez. Now Dorgu, unless Man United can scrape something. And Mbomo over the bar. Tried his best. Didn't. Wasn't quite enough. United to make more changes. Casemiro and Zirkzee coming on. Fascinating. Fascinating indeed. And Šeško off. Still awaiting his first goal in United colours. Certainly in the Premier League. And also coming off is Manuel Ugarte. So straight swaps there. That's what I was looking for there, Andy. Signed, sealed and delivered. That is it. 100%. Signed, sealed and delivered. The 3 points. Well, Ruben Amorim doesn't look like it's getting any better for him and his team. He said, "We are getting better." Well, not seeing much evidence of it, if I'm honest. Today at times they've looked better, but again, you can look better without scoring goals. It doesn't mean you're going to get any better on the field and improve your results. You have to score goals, and that's why they spent all the money on the big players this summer, to score goals, and so far not quite doing that. It will be 4 goals in 4 games. As it stands, anyway. And 3 of which came in one singular game. De Ligt with a cross. Up and blocked and cleared away, but not very far. Shaw with a little awkward little touch, but it's kept alive. Zirkzee tried to bring it down. Away by Gonzalez. And a bouncing ball again. Header one by Nico Gonzalez. Maguire firing it out wide to Ahmad. Advantage played as Maguire was fouled. Ahmad now to Brian Mbomo. Closed out, but Mainoo does well to get back to Mbomo, who has a go! And that wasn't too far away from Brian Mbomo there. Donnarumma again was diving. In the end he didn't need to because it was going wide, but he didn't know that. was a good strike, good dive, just wide. Well, Man United, as I said, they head to host Chelsea next Saturday evening before they head to Brentford, then a home game against Sunderland before a trip to Anfield in October. For Manchester City, of course, Man United, no European football or cup football, so they have a quiet weeks to come, but City busy. They host Napoli here on Thursday night. Then next Sunday at 4:30, they're on a trip to Arsenal. That's a tough game at the Emirates next Sunday evening. And then a trip to Huddersfield in the Carabao Cup third round before a home game against Burnley. That will end their September before they head to Monaco in the Champions League. So 5 games in 5 different competitions, non-consecutive same competitions over the next 5 fixtures for Manchester City to take them through September. Bayern Deer, 7 minutes of the game to go. Here's Ahmad off the right. Ahmad across. Oh, and Burmo. He tapped it wide himself. I mean, my goodness. It was fired at him by Ahmad, but he couldn't direct it in. It was harder to miss than to score, surely. Ahmad did really well, all the hard yards, and then it just bounced off Burmo from the cross. And it bounced wide off the inside of his left leg. Or off his toe, actually, it came off. I mean, no, had to be a goal. Had to be. Well, if they win here this afternoon with a clean sheet, City, it'll be the first time they've won a Manchester derby at home with a clean sheet since November of 2014 when they won 1-0 here. And that was a bit of a shocker when I read that. Here's Mbeumo to deliver. Punched away by Donnarumma. Fernandes! Oh! And Casemiro directed it wide. He was offside anyway, but my goodness. He was onside. Oh my goodness me. I don't mean to laugh, but my goodness, how have they missed those chances, Man United? Back to back. I mean, they could have had 2 goals. They could have been back in the game. I mean, I was slightly jesting when I said about the lack of goals at the start of the season, but they've created chances that they could have got goals here. Here they come again, Ahmad. Mainu, up and away. Falls here for Dorgu. Skies it over the bar. How many chances do you want, Man United? That's 3 really good goal-scoring opportunities in the last 3 minutes, and they've missed them all. None of them were on target. Goodness me. I think Ruben Amorim's going to start growing grey hairs in a minute. And the United fans trundling out of Etihad Stadium now. Dull, dim. What other words can you use? Glum. The City have been fantastic today, no doubt about that. But United have been hopeless in attack again. Here's a nice ball down the left side. City might not be done yet. Savinho. Foden. Back to Vardiol and now Kusanov. And a little bit of a battle there. Free kick to Man City. Foul on that far right hand side. Well, what do you say about Man United? What do you say that hasn't already been said multiple times by multiple different people on multiple different occasions? I mean, what more can you say about Man United that people haven't already? I don't know. Well, there's Erling Haaland going off. 8 goals and 9 appearances in a Manchester derby, 2 of which came today. He took them beautifully, and no doubt deserved them. The first one a dinked effort, the second one he tucked it into the corner. Erling Haaland, he's got it all, and he showed it all today. Fabulous performance from him. And Bernardo Silva as well, put in a good shift. He's coming off as well for City. And a double substitution that sees Oscar Bob and Nathan Ake enter the fray here. I willingly said I played my wild card this game week, and it was a toss-up between getting Salah or Haaland. And I have to say that Lady Luck has finally shined her light on me. Well, I took Salah, Captain Salah, and I mean, I can't complain. He got a late penalty, won the game for Liverpool, but yeah, Haaland would have got you some good points. Salah got me 16 points. I captained them, so he got me 16. That's a decent return, I gotta say. And I couldn't have done very much more. I mean, Fulham kept a clean sheet. Anderson got me 10 points. Munoz kept a clean sheet. He got me 5. Villa kept a clean sheet. Got me 6. Pedro Porro kept a clean sheet. That got me 6 points. Eze got an assist. Got me 6 points. Gyökeres got a goal. That got me 6 points. Salah was 16. Wirtz with 3. Malen was poor at 1 point. And then Beto with 2. But yeah, some good performances. My fantasy team's starting to take shape a little bit. A little bit. That's all I'll say. A minute and a half to go. City 3, Man United 0. And the result has been all but certain for quite a while now. And the crowd up and in applause. Now you can look at this quite metaphorically today. The sun has shone upon the Etihad night in the early Sunday evening sunshine, and who knows, metaphorically that could be that maybe Manchester City's season has a bit of sunshine on it again after it started pretty rainy and wet. Who knows? I'm not one for metaphors, I'm not one for all that type of stuff. Peter Drury is the right man for that type of stuff, but it's just something, you never know. Ahmad with a ball across, cleared away. Casemiro now lifting it into the box. Man United surely just a consolation now. Mainu across, cleared away by City, and he was offside anyway. Oh, he captained Ugo Ekitike. Oh, I mean, I captained Salah because there's no point not captaining Salah. I mean, he's always going to get something, surely. But, yeah. And there's Sir Jim Radcliffe. I mean, for a billionaire, he looks like somebody that's just walked out of an alleyway bin. I mean, I'm sorry to be rude to the old man, but, like, he looks so I mean, what is it with billionaires looking scruffy, some of them? Here comes City. Reinders through the lines. Falls to Reinders again. Fizz it across the 6-yard box. Kusanov can't chase. 4 added minutes at the end of the 90 then. You know the game's done and dusted when I start talking about billionaires and scruffiness. You know the game's done and dusted when the broadcaster starts showing people in the crowd. Where's Sir Alex Ferguson? I'm sure he's not happy in the crowd and laughs and giggles. Some Erling Haaland who gets player of the match. There's no question about that. But again, a special mention to Jeremy Doku, who was fantastic today as well. 2 really top quality performances from those two, Doku and Haaland. And of course Foden, who got the opener. City were just marvellous today. Marvellous. And Haaland announced as the player of the match by the stadium announcer, who can make quite cringe at times here at City, but delivered it nicely. Zirkzee, Ahmad, Casemiro! Shots went through a few bodies, but blocked by Ruben Dias in the ends. Shaw to Casemiro. A bouncing ball back towards Shaw. It's Maguire that will receive. Switch ball here for Man United. Ahmad. Chests it down. And Burmo to Fernandez, flicking it into the box. The header is on. The header is wide from Dorgu on that occasion. I've got to say, Donnarumma dominant today. Even when he has been called into action, he's done really well. That great save from Brandon Bomo's shot earlier on in the game. That's probably an unbelievable one, but he will be a fantastic goalkeeper for City. A force to be reckoned with in the future. One of the best in the world. Gianluigi Donnarumma. Looks like he's going to keep a clean sheet on his debut. I mean, I hear your logic, Real English. I hear your logic. I'm not disregarding your decision, but I just thought today Salah's always one I would never bet against. Here's Oscar Bob Foden. A bit of a pea shooter there, and the shot was actually eventually gathered, and Bayindir had to make this save for a corner. Couldn't quite see who it was that had the shot. Might have been Savinho that had the rebound shot from the little pea shooter from Foden. Corner to City, last few seconds of the game. Wouldn't be a better way to finish this one than to score in the last second. From a corner, it would be quite ironic. They go short, and Foden won't win something? Won't. Throw in to Man United. That fell flat on its face. Bruno Fernandes to take the throw in. And there's the final whistle. Contrasting emotions in Manchester on Derby Day. Derby Day delight for City. Derby Day dismay for United. It's blue over red for the first time this season. And Erling Haaland shone brightest on the day. 2 goals for him, 1 for Phil Foden, 2 of which set up by Jeremy Doku. They had a day of it, did City. They're back to their winning ways, and their 2 wins this season have come by very convincing margins. They're back to winning ways, and it's back to normal ways for Man United. Losing ways, that is. Their 1-0, or their 1 win of the season against Burnley last week might have been just a little blip in their run. They have a lot of work to do. City, they worked hard today, they performed well, and they came away with all 3 points. And a first Derby Day home clean sheet in 11 years, funnily enough. Final score from the 197th Manchester Derby. It is finished Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. And there is our confirmation of our results this weekend. Fabulous day of it, and a fabulous weekend of action. It started with a 3-0 win, it ended with a 3-0 win. And that is how we end the weekend, as you can see it there. 3-0 to Arsenal. I'll run you through the scores, actually, in full throttle. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 0. Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. Fulham 1, Leeds United 0. Newcastle United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. West Ham 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Brentford 2, Chelsea 2. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. That is match day 4 done and dusted. Let's have a look at the table then. Show you what we've learnt across this weekend and what it means for the way the table measures up. And I'll give you one guess at who's top. I think you can guess. I mentioned it earlier. It is the champions who lead the way. 12 points out of 12. 4 wins out of 4 for the champions. Starting like champions. And their next up is their Merseyside derby at Anfield next Saturday. Looking forward to that one. They've got a Champions League game before that as well. Liverpool top of the tree. Arsenal in second, where they know most recently where they finish. 3 wins out of 4 for them. Back to winning ways, of course. Yesterday against Nottingham Forest. Their next opponent is Manchester City. In the Premier League, that is at the Emirates next Sunday. Spurs in third, big start to the season for Spurs under Thomas Frank, 3 wins out of 4, back to winning ways yesterday with their 3-0 win against West Ham. Their next opponent's Brighton. Bournemouth, best start to their Premier League campaign ever, as they went 3 wins in their last 3, and 3 out of 4 in total, 9 out of 12 for them. Chelsea in 5th on 8 points. Everton start the season well. They're on 7 points, as are Sunderland on 7, the newly promoted side right in the right end of the table. Crystal Palace on 6, they're in 8th, and 9th is Newcastle on 5 points. Making up the top half there, Fulham on 5 points after their first 4 games. Into the bottom half come Man United in 11th on 4, Brentford on 4, Brighton on 4. Oh well, that hasn't updated actually. Sorry about that. Man City are way higher than where they are right now. Brighton on 4, Forest on 4, Leeds on 4, City on to 6, by the way, in that one. Burnley on 3, West Ham on 3, and then the bottom 2 are the same as they were coming into the weekend. Wolves, 4 defeats out of 4. 0 points from there as they face Leeds next. And Aston Villa, yet to score this season. They've pulled out 2 draws out of that somehow. 2 0-0 draws. And Aston Villa have 2 points. They're the only 2 sides without a win so far this season. That is it from us this Premier League weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. It's great to have your company once again. Don't forget, we're back with the Champions League in midweek. It is Liverpool taking on Atletico Madrid on Wednesday night at Anfield, followed by Newcastle taking on Barcelona on Thursday night. Thank you very much for your company once again. And hopefully we'll see you next weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. It is Manchester City's day in the derby. They pick up all 3 points, 3 goals to boot. And Erling Haaland putting 2 into the back of the United net. United misery looms once again. Bye-bye.